Luna, I need some money. Can you give me some money, Luna? Can you do that? Oh, okay. Thank you. Have a nice day, Luna. Got me some Luna money. Well, now that I got my hands on some Luna money, let's go ahead and talk about how you can make money inside of PSO2 New Genesis. And of course, today I'm going to be showing you how to get your hands on Meseta. Every way you can do it as a free-to-play player, as well as a little bit of tips for all you that are premium players as well. And hopefully the video will be helpful and hopefully let you get that Meseta you need for upgrades, or maybe you just want to buy a pretty outfit off the player shop. So with that, I would like to give a thank you to everybody that's supporting over on Patreon and Twitch, but we will go more into that in a bit. So let's jump into this and let's discuss Meseta. So Meseta is of course the free currency for NGS here and can be used for multiple things, such as unlocking abilities on weapon, adding armor, enhancing weapon, buying cosmetic from the player shop, and many other things as well. So there is a few ways to get our hands on this, but to begin, let's go ahead and start off with some of the easier ones here, which is of course going to be tied to using items. So of course there are a few items in PSO that will give us a little extra bump to our Meseta gain. So to start off, we do have of course Meseta on a part 25% and 50% as well, and these are of course given out inside of the season pass. There will be of course a 25% on the free track, as well as 50% on the pay or gold tier that will unlock at tier 14. But there is also some other way to get your hands on it. So to go ahead and start off, sometimes you can go ahead and find these in the treasure shop. And of course, these are random items that are picked, as you can see here, every 8 hours. But you know, sometimes you can see them popping up in here at 10% and 20%. And of course, sometimes, as right now, you can see we have a 20% try booster. With the try booster, will of course give up Meseta, Ethereum, and well drops. Just know sometimes the higher tier items of the try booster will be tied to premium, and then others, as such as the 10%, will be for every player if you have the star gem to grab it. But outside of try booster and Meseta on boosters, we do have wappy frittles as well. The thing to keep in mind about these is, of course, these don't pop up that often. You usually will see these pop up in events that happen in PSO. Sometimes they will give them away to campaigns, but usually the most consistent way to get your hands on these is, of course, by checking out the headline stream plus. And over there, they do give out keys at the end of the stream, which usually will involve a wappy fritter, as well as some other items such as star gem or something cosmetic, as well as sometimes we do have streams by Dave that also come from of course PSO, the Japanese side, and Dave sometimes as well will also give away the wappy frittles. So if you want to keep up with that, make sure you check out them streams, or you know, if you want to do that very easily, be sure to follow me over on Twitter, since anytime the keys are given out, I do of course post it and let you all know. So be sure to follow me over there if you want to keep up with the keys as well. And then on that option to get our hands on more Meseta, this is sadly a more of a premium thing, but if you do have premium, if you head on over to any Ruka device and you go ahead and cook you some food, you can get a bonus of, I want to say 10% to Meseta for a certain amount of time. So if you're a premium user, this is something you can do to get a little extra. And then on that one, we can get here into a boost we get from taking part in a PSO consoles. So by checking out the console for NGS, doesn't matter what city you're in, you can be in a court retain and be actually watching the console live. But if you are an Alio or Cavaris, as long as you in the area by the time the song's in, you will go ahead and get you an extra bonus. And of course, for anyone that want to try to track the time, usually the console itself happens roughly around the top of the hour. Just know It is a little random, so of course you kind of gotta wing it here, so just keep that in mind. But the console itself usually lasts about 12 minutes, so about 12 after you want to try to make it back to one of the city, so you can go ahead and get the bonuses. And as far as the boots from the console, you can go ahead and check out that by going to character information, and over here on the right side, we can go ahead and see all the bonuses we got from the console, which is right here under, of course, a 10% boost for 2 hours to Meseta on and well drop weight as well. So the next thing we're going to talk about here is of course tied to doing your weeklies. Since if you're logging in at least one time a week, you do want to try to get these done. And these of course reset right after maintenance on a Wednesday morning. As long as maintenance go fine, you're looking at 3 a.m. Central for these. But by completing these, you can get your hands on a whole bunch of more Meseta. So as an example for this month, we got ourselves Cannonball Strike, which will go ahead and give us 50,000 Meseta. And then we also have our complete daily tasks 20 times will give us 200,000. And also we do got some extra experience. And of course our star mission here will also give us a little bit of Meseta. In the case of right now, giving us 100,000. As well as some star point to use on our mission paths. And if you want more information on mission paths, I did a video all about that. But there would also a couple other ones as well here that will give us any more Meseta, anywhere from 50 to 1 to 200,000 Meseta for taking part in it. So make sure you are getting your weekly done. And if you put all that together, you're looking around about 800,000 Meseta up to 1 million, especially once you start throwing in your dailies as well. But baseline at least 800 million just for doing your weeklies. And the next thing we're going to talk about here before we start getting into actually farming Meseta is a code tied to parties. So for every time you create a party, you will get a bonus as well. And as for Meseta concerned, you will get you an extra 10% bonus to your overall income. So if you are planning on farming in any of the upcoming battle sectors, which we will talk about in a moment, be sure to make sure you are in a full party, or at least in a party in general, so you can get that extra 10%. So once you have yourself a party and you're ready to set out and start farming Meseta, we can do this in a few ways. So to start off, let's go ahead and talk about battle sectors, which is of course, depending on what region you are in, you will have access to 2 areas you can take part in. So to start off in Cavalry, we do have also the Ruins. We also have Lost Central. And for Alio, we have also the Forest, the Lab Ruin, and in the case of Alio, we do have a third one, which is called Mount Magnets. And then for Retain, we have also the Retain Antonaut, once again, probably butchering that, as well as the lower level. So the areas you want to make sure you head into, and make sure you get you a room with 8 players. Don't get me wrong, they have added NPCs that will spawn in for you to replace any open slots 2 people can join. But just know the AI is, well, extremely dumb. So ideally, if you want to get your hands on it, add one spawn right in front of me. Is of course, make sure you hit up the Ruka device once you are in wherever you are wanting to do this. And make sure you turn on rooms from the link, as well as the same sector you in, so you can actually see how many people are doing that content at any given point. So make sure you get yourself in a room with as many people as possible, up to 8, so you guys can get as many kills as possible, get PSE, and in return get more items. When it comes to the item itself, you will have to manually sell, and as you are killing enemy, your inventory will fill up quick. There is a way to, of course, get around this. Of course, we got our default inventory, We also have material storage that you can throw in like meats and whatnot into. And then of course, if you are premium, you do have premium storage that will give you a little extra pay, as well as all the extra storage as well. But all that does count money on that end. The only one you can technically get your hands on through free-to-play meme, which is tied to Dodgem, will of course be extended storage 1 and a material storage. So I highly recommend these if you got the Meseta for it. I feel like personally this is a must, at least for free-to-play players. But when it comes to the items itself, there is some irritation here because the items by default do not sell by themselves. So anytime your inventory get full, you want to come in, highlight the items you want to sell, convert the cash, and say yes. With that being said, though, there is of course a paid version you can do for you that want to go that route, which is of course tied to getting your hands on an item by the name of auto sell items. And don't get me wrong, you can of course buy it with Dodgem for 500. You will get access to this for 30 days. But this is also an item that is available in premium. So if you pick up premium, you will also get this. So this is another thing that might be a must. Just know 500 is starting to get a little more on the pricier side when it actually comes to Dodgems. But you can get it as a free-to-play player. But with that being said, it also kind of a little bit more for premium if you go that route. And of course, you can get your hands on the item as well. Not as good, obviously, which is going to be in the mission pass itself. And at tier 16, you will unlock the ability to sell items, but only for 1 hour. I have my own opinion how this should be a lot longer. For the sake of this video, you can get it to that way for free, but once again, it only 1 hour. So now let's go ahead and talk about items you can find every single day, roughly, inside of New Genesis that you can sell for a whole bunch of money, since there is a few of these. So let's go ahead and start off with Alpha Reactor. The items will of course spawn once a day. You will usually find these in Alio only. And of course, if you want to go ahead and hunt these down easily, since there will be a few in each zone in Alio, and they are random every time they spawn. Lucky enough, I got someone that might be able to help you out here, which is of course name I don't want to butcher. So let's go ahead and we're gonna let all Tech Defeat handle that one. Get to it, Tech Defeat.
Afia Marantha.
There we go. That's probably the closest you're going to get. But nonetheless, I will have a link in the description to the Twitter account since they are nice enough to every day, of course, post where Alpha Reactor actually spawned, as well as, of course, giving an image to show exactly where they are inside of NGS. So this account is super helpful for all of you that are going to be trying to farm these. So that is a good way to actually hunt down these. And then we have our sterile fragments. So these items are uniquely tied to retain. And of course, mainly in retain, we want to head on over here to West Retain for this, because they will only spawn here roughly. You might see them as well in North, but usually, of course, West, it will they spawn. And of course, these you will find hovering in the air up in the mountain. So they will, of course, require not only a little bit of climbing to get to them, but also a little bit of platforming. So you gotta pretty much platform your way to them. And then spam B, or whichever button might be if you're on controller or mouse, to actually grab these. So you will of course find these scatter around all out in this area. And then we have our item of beta reactors. Beta reactors are a little more unique because at the time of that video, they're not really tied to a region. They are tied to Alliance tab. So to get to this, we're going to go ahead, head over to our personal Arc Record Alliance tab record. And of course, the items here are tied to, well, how well your alliance is doing, which is of course by you doing your weekly alliance tabs. You will collect points, and then if you are in an alliance, ideally you do want to be in one. As points get higher and higher, every person in the alliance will have a chance to get their hands on the beta reactors, as well as some star gems. And of course, we can go ahead and see a little bit of a breakdown here between bronze, silver, and gold. So if you're an alliance, be sure to be checking this so you can go ahead and get your hands on the items. And then from there, let's go ahead and move into our last item here, which is, of course, after I go to the raw menu, which is a Snords. I guess that's how it's pronounced. And Snords is exclusively found in Kavaris. So these, you can find them scattered about pretty much in all parts of Kavaris. But the easier place to farm these is up here in Central Kavaris. And of course, if you do the grind out here, you will go ahead and find you some as you head on down, which is of course these wonderful items. So you will see these cattle here, and you will have to mine them. If you add a certain level, they might not be mineable. Don't get me wrong. If you are already max level or elite 60 or higher, depending on when you are watching it, you can break them through normal means. Or you can go ahead and break them as well with, of course, breaking the yellow, spikes that you control. You can also, of course, break them by using the snowboards as well. So, pretty much if I want to enter them, you can break them open, same as you can any other thing you want into. So that there is extremely helpful for you out here in Kavaris. So let's go ahead and discuss how much these will actually sell for. So, of course, selling one will get you 3,500 for the alpha reactor. The fragments, you can get your hands on 2,000 Meseta. For beta reactors, you are looking at 100,000. So, you can see why these are important. And then, of course, for Snords or however it's pronounced, you can go ahead, make yourself 3,500. So as you can see, that can add up very quickly, especially if you are farming the items every single day, since the items are daily outside of beta reactors. But that is not it, because you can get your hands on some extra alpha reactors here. So to start off, the version that you can do pretty much at any point is of course going to be tied to a recycle item. So let's go ahead, head to item recycle, and we can go on down here, and you can go ahead and see you can trade in some items here for these, and you can trade in as many as you want. Just know they does require a very specific item here, which is called a special scratch items. So if you get any duplicate from special scratch, you can trade them in here to, of course, get you one of these. Just know you have to trade in 3 items to equal 1 alpha reactor, which I guess is not bad if you have a whole bunch of duplicates. But just keep that in mind if you are trying to go that route. And then the net way to get your hands on alpha reactors at any point, or almost any point, as long as the seasonal event is happening, which happen in New Genesis roughly every other month. And of course, if you talk to the seasonal NPC from here, you can go ahead and trade in seasonal points to get your hands on a whole bunch of these. So of course, as you can see, we have 100 of these for 300 season points. And then we of course got another 100 for 600 season points. This will of course also reset when we enter the week 3 of the seasonal event, since in part 2 the items will come back and you will have a chance to get you 200 more. But once again, this is sadly only tied to seasonal event, but during that time it's a fantastic time to make some Meseta. And then the next thing we need to talk about here is boxes. This is something that's not going to be all that helpful fully if you are a returning player or if you have already done this, but something useful for anyone new that might be coming in that haven't took part in the activity, which is of course tied to hunting red boxes. Since we do have, as you can see here, we have green ones, we also have gold one, we got the frozen ones in Kavarit, but there is also a red variant that is a count bound. So once you break these, they do not come back. So every zone will have roughly about 150 of these scattered about. And of course, if you hunt them down, either by using your mag radar, which you can easily do by heading over into mag, and of course, changing its sensor, and of course, you can tell it to only show red boxes in its sensor. But once you actually hunt these down, you will get you a whole bunch of Meseta that way, as well as some weapon and armor and whatnot. So if you haven't already went and farmed all your boxes, I highly recommend it, not only for the Meseta, but also some of the equipment and stuff that come from it as well. And our final way to make Meseta here is only a little bit for free-to-play player. This is mainly tied to pay player, which is called the player shop. So if you have bought premium, you will have access to the player shop for 30 days that you can go ahead and put up items on the player shop to be sold for Meseta. But if you a free-to-play player though, you can get your hand on a 3-day pass if you head on into your mission pass. And we're going to go ahead and head on over to tier, I believe 24. Yes, it is. At tier 24 on the free track, you can get access to 3 days of selling every single month for new Genesis. But just know, if you are a premium player or you just buy the shop pass, which of course you can do so by, of course, a Finny AC. And you can get your hands on 30 days of being able to sell, since at the time of this video, premium is only 900 AC. Just know this is on sale at the time of that video, so if you're interested in premium, now probably would be the time, because once this event is done, it will go back up to 13 bucks. But if you don't care about all the extra stuff that come with premium, you can just straight up buy the ability to sell in the personal shop for 30 days. This one, you are looking at 700 AC, or what will probably translate to $7. That's an option. If not, and if you're a free-to-play player, you can only sell for 3 days. But when it comes to this, not only is it ideally you want to be hunting for like augments and certain items that you can sell depending on what ship you own, because markets are different on different ships. So ideally, you do want to check and figure out what sell for what, and figure out what you need to be farming for your ship. But with that being said, there is also another way to get Meseta beyond that. But this is 100% exclusive to being a pay player, which is, of course, buying scratches. So if you head over to the scratch ticket and you buy any of the ones that require AC, as of now, we of course got 4 of these. And they seem to fluctuate out pretty much every week to 2 weeks. So you can go ahead and take your chances by spending 200 AC for a single pull, or 2200 AC to pull 10. And any items you get in this is cosmetic, you can put up on the player shop. And this is another way if you want to, I get deep down, technically, buy Meseta. The legal route that won't get you banned is by buying the outfits and selling them on the player shop to the free-to-play players. So you can make so much money doing this, especially if you get your hands on some of the more desirable items from the pools. But at the end of the day, this is still heavily RNG and also tied to real money. So keep that in mind. And there you have it. There is all the best way to make Meseta inside of New Genesis. Don't get me wrong, you can also make Meseta through multiple other game modes. You can also get 1,000 for every trial you do. But, you know, none of these is really quick money for say. And hopefully one of these tips have been helpful to get you just a little bit extra money faster than you would through normal means. But with that being said, that's going to go ahead and do it for me. So if this video has been helpful at all, be sure to do the thumbs up, subscribe, hit all the wonderful bells below. And of course, if you want to become like all the wonderful folks that is supporting here for the month of September, be sure to hit that wonderful join button below here on YouTube, or by coming on over to patreon.com/Maconn. get you a whole bunch of wonderful loot over there, or by subscribing over on twitch.tv/TroyMaconn. Get you some emo, support the live streams, because I do stream pretty much every single day as of now. So be sure to check them out. And of course, once again, check out everybody I name dropped in that video, because they are very helpful in this endeavor. So make sure you go give everyone some love, as well as be sure to go give some love as well to Limbo a Symphony for, like always, letting us use them characters in our thumbnail. And of course, if you want your characters showed off as well, be sure to, of course, send them my way over on Twitter, or by coming over to our Discord, and I will have a link to that as well as Limbo here in the description below. And of course, with that, that's gonna go ahead and do it for me, and I will see you in the comments. Diana, do you want the money? Fine, fine. You can take the Luna money. You happy now?